What's up, guys? Tim Little. Welcome back to Tactical Bassin. Today's video, have an on-the-water first look of Mega Live 2 on my boat. Guys, I cannot be more impressed with just the few minutes that I've spent with this thing. It is awesome. So looking forward to showing you guys this. Gonna throw some baits, show you guys what bait and fish look like. But guys, major upgrade from Mega Live 1. Let's check it out. All right, guys, as you can see, we're at the bow of my boat. Now, one thing I do want to say is, man, right off the bat, this thing is super clear. I got this thing set out to 100 foot. We could bump it down. Let's do 120 feet right there. Very, very clear. Now, I do have this mounted to a target lock, a turret. Okay, so I can change where my transducer is pointing. It's not mounted on the shaft of the trolling motor, which a lot of guys do. But because I fish a lot offshore, I want to be able to spot lock if it's windy, or I want to be able to basically spot lock and then move my transducer independently. So I have the target lock, so I can spot lock. I can use my transducer separately from steering with my trolling motor, and that comes in super handy, like I said, on windy or days where I want to spot lock and point my transducer to a different direction. Now you guys can already see the clarity. We are going to have some prop wash with that boat that just ran by. Some fish over there on bottom at 90 foot. Let's go ahead and take a look at what an actual bait looks like out there at 90 foot. Okay. Got a traditional jig head minnow. Guys, that's what a lot of guys are throwing for this technique. Now, I will say, I don't do a lot of just scoping. You know, forward facing sonar is such a unique tool. Boom, 80 foot, just short. You guys can see my bait. Made a terrible cast. 80 foot, you can see my bait land. Such a major improvement from ML1. I'm gonna call it ML1. Mega Live 2, Mega Live 1. One of the things, let's see if I can get back on these fish over here. Might have moved. They gone. So what I was saying, guys, you know, I don't do a lot of just scoping. Yes, I've caught a bunch of fish doing it, but it's not primarily what I use forward facing sonar for. You know, a lot like side imaging, I use it for finding points of rock. I use it for finding standing timber or grass lines. Now with forward facing, I can scan and find the edge of the grass line. I can find the edge of that break. If I want to bring that crankbait right along that break or right along that grass line, it's a very unique tool that I don't know that a lot of guys, they just automatically assume you're out here like, you know, spotlighting fish or whatever, but it's such a cool tool. And I use it a ton to fish traditional baits, chatterbaits, crankbaits, all A-rigs, all that sort of stuff. I mean, I'm fishing A-rigs down in 50 foot or 40 foot over tops of treetops, right? I don't want to get that bait hung up and lose A-rigs all throughout the day. Now I can cast out 90, 100 foot, watch my bait drop down, bring it right across those treetops. And guys, that just saves you a ton of money, saves you a ton of time rigging A-rigs, you know, putting swim bait heads on there, getting your Kitex or your swim baits on there. It just saves a ton of money, a ton of time. And then obviously it's an added bonus when you can effectively fish those treetops down there at that depth with a swim bait, a glide bait, an A-rig. Hopefully you guys can understand or at least see the potential, the money saving that being able to fish that stuff effectively without getting hung up really can do for you. So just another tool, like I said, on the boat that is extremely beneficial if you like to fish that way. All right, so we got Got shoreline over there. Got a bait pile right there. Bait ball right there at 60 to 80 foot. I say 50 to 80 foot. Got some bait down on bottom. I'm gonna go ahead and turn around into this wind. All of a sudden we got some wind rolling up. We got over there. But guys, more importantly, not just scoping fish or sniping fish or whatever you want to call it. Yes, that works. But let me tell you, these guys, these fish, they're going to become accustomed to that sonar ping. It's already happened here on Chickamauga. You pan across a point and there's a bunch of fish up there. As soon as they feel that sonar ping, man, they are hitting, they're off, they're bouncing, they're off the side. So again, these fish will become more and more weary of that sonar ping. But guys, this Mega Live 2 is so clear. I have my sensitivity. I started out at 10 and 10. I bumped my sensitivity up to 18. And what's my contrast at? I think we're at 10 or 12. Yeah, contrast is at 10. And then you guys can see right here, I have my dynamic contrast set to balanced. Now, I've only been out for a little bit dialing this thing in, but you can see already the clarity is awesome. Let's go see if we can find some more bait balls or fish near the bait balls. Again, we're set out at 120 foot. Some fish out there at 110. Most guys can't even cast that far, so it's crazy that you can see fish out that far. See those fish out there. Let's go ahead and show you guys some of these other pallets. I like this. It's called Alabama Amber. But let's go ahead and show you. There's black blue craw, golden shiner. Where'd those fish go? Alabama Amber. Those fish, those just pop right there. Green pumpkin, watermelon, smoke, watermelon red, citrus shad, sunrise, spring craw, electric gill, Doppler. This is my other favorite. I switch between Doppler and Alabama Amber. PB&J, parrot, and motor oil. Motor oil is a lot like Alabama Amber, but I really like those choices in the different color palettes. That's a major upgrade as well. But let's go see if we can actually find some fish. I'm over here in the shade. It's a winter day. Got snow on the bank still, a little bit of snow left, but I'm in the shade so you guys can see these screens a little bit better. Got one right out there at 40. So right off the bat, two things that are major improvements from ML1 is target separation, being able to see these fish on bottom. That really stands out with that Doppler color. So target separation and bait tracking, being able to see your bait hit. Let's get over here by this log. There should be some bait balls over there. Turn it up a little bit. But being able to one, see your bait out that far. But target separation, so being able to pick the fish out of stuff, right? Out of grass, out of wood. That is a huge bonus. And then bait tracking. A lot of guys want to, when they're doing this scoping technique, they're doing this jig and minnow, they want to be able to see their bait hit the water, see where it is relative to the fish, and then bring that bait as close as possible to those fish, to said fish. So let's go ahead and see if we can get over here and find some bait balls. But really impressed with the clarity. Again, this is plug and play. It took me about 15 minutes to change out my Mega Live transducer. my Mega Live 1 to my Mega Live 2 transducer. Hopefully this wind isn't too bad for you guys. Never fails when you're trying to record stuff. The weather always cooperates. Bait ball, fish down below it at 50 foot. That's a tree. I don't know if you guys can see that all right, but that's a tree right there coming down. You see that? Look at that fish at 30 just hanging by that bait ball. Goes my bait. So bait tracking, awesome. Able to stay on that bait, right over that bait ball, and disappears in that bait ball. But you guys can see just a major improvement. So right off the bat, really impressed with that. Clarity, I like to run mine fairly hot so I can see what's going on. I have my sensitivity up to 18. I can go all the way up to 20. That bait ball, there's that tree right there. But super impressed. Try and get out of this wind. We might not see any bait or stuff, but at least we'll be able to make some casts and show you guys what this thing looks like. All right, let's go ahead and fire one out there for you. 90 foot. You got a fish at 60. Let's see what he does. Doesn't want to play. Again, I am drifting a little bit with this wind, so I'm having to adjust my foot pedal as we go, but you can see 90 foot. Let's go with a smaller bait. That was the A-rig. Jerk bait shows up really well in this thing too. I grabbed a jerk bait, an A-rig, and a jig and minnow. What do we got? We're gonna have to stop recording and go try and find some fish for you guys. Let's switch this. Show you what Doppler looks like. That other one I really like. Just makes those fish really pop. Bait going down at 50. You can still see the splash where it hit the water. Come on, fishies, where'd you go? Let's make some long casts for you guys so you guys can see this. You guys will get the point. Right. 90 foot jig and minnow. Saw the splash, pretty cool. Boat's drifting, but you can see my bait there at 70. Bring it over to this guy. Don't see any big blobs. I got a fish following me. No, not gonna do it. Pan left and right and see what we see. Drop it down to bottom, see what happens. Follow me down. Come eat me. Come on. Do it. Little guys. But as you can see, major upgrade. Kudos to that team. All right, let's go ahead and spin around, see if we can actually find some fish that want to be on camera. Still got some snow up here on the bank. Nice brisk winter morning. Actually, it's afternoon now. Bait ball right there. Turn this, boat's still swinging. See the bait right there at 70, my bait. Just showing you guys this. I'm not trying to catch these yellow bass or shad. This actually looks like shad. I really like this Doppler view. It really makes fish and baits pop on the bottom. So if you are slow crawling a rig along the bottom, you can see it really, really well. And then you'll see the fish swim away. And then I really, really like that Alabama Amber for most of the fishing. Good old bait ball. Nothing on it though. Nobody home. So what you're seeing me pan left and right. That's why that bait ball is going on and off the screen. Let's go try and find some fish. Nobody's home this morning on these guys. There's a couple out there. 80 foot. 3. Come here. Don't run. Drop this thing down. So it's really easy to pan off of your bait, pan off of the fish, especially when your boat's drifting. One out there at 70. Then a couple out there. Let's see. Way to go. Throw right on their heads. Don't recommend that. But this thing go down the bottom. Pop, pop. Scared them. There's my rig. You can see one following me behind. Just behind. But again, you can see right here, I'm fishing this right off bottom. So if there was, you know, it was grass, and you just want to fish right over the tops of grass, or there's tops of tree tops, makes it really easy to be accurate with your cast without getting hung up. But yeah, 80, 90, 100 foot, being able to see your bait, track your bait, bait tracking, target separation, being able to see your bait coming through trees, over the tops of trees. Guys, a major improvement with Mega Live 2. Super excited. Like I said, it's not all about scoping, right? Just like side imaging is a tool, just like 360 is a tool, when you use them for different things, they work extremely well. Fishing treetops, fishing grass lines, not actually, I mean, yes, you can chase down an individual fish, but you don't have to do that. If you're a guy that doesn't want to do that, you don't have to. It's a lot of fun playing that cat and mouse game. Can be extremely frustrating seeing those fish swim away from you, avoid your bait. It's a huge learning tool. It shows how fish are acting on a given day. You know, one day, there we go, some fish out there. One day, they might be dancing all over your glide bait. Next day, they might not want it, or they want the A-rig. You can kind of make quicker adjustments based on how these fish are positioning, how they're acting. There's lots of good information to take from what you can see on the screen. So you don't actually have to sit there and shake a jig and minnow if you don't want to. There's a lot of benefits to having this technology. So I'm all for it. Again, I don't do a lot of the jig and minnow stuff. I have caught a lot of fish doing it. I like throwing bigger baits, A-rigs, that sort of stuff into tighter areas, harder areas to cast to, and that is awesome for allowing me to do that. You know, the other day, you know, I was trying to fish super deep, like 80 foot, but there's treetops like 50 foot, and being able to see that bait go down would have helped. Being able to see that bait go down and come through the treetops would have helped. But as you guys can see, Mega Live 2 is an awesome upgrade from Mega Live 1. So super excited, stoked about that. Another thing you see too, new user interface on the Humminbird electronics. With this new update, with all the new stuff, with the release of the Explore units and the Mega Live 2, they changed the user interface and made it a lot simpler, a lot easier, quicker to find menus and do some really cool things. Circle your waypoints, export them, send them to your buddy's phone, all sorts of stuff, really cool stuff. We'll do a more in-depth video on the actual user interface of the new units. But guys, there it is, Mega Live 2. Could not be more impressed. Very, very stoked with the 15-minute install, just the switching it out. Very, very clear. So guys, let me know your thoughts on this, on the view, on the clarity, all that stuff down below in the comment section. Again, appreciate your guys' feedback, comments, and as always, guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video or you learned something from it, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you guys on the next video.